Cool. Right, we shall kick off then, and people will trickle in as we continue. And then, of course, this is being recorded as well, so I'll share this around after we finish. So, welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Everyone will know who I am, hopefully, because I've sent you an email inviting you to join this session, so I don't need to introduce myself, which is nice. This afternoon is all about Prospect CRM. So I imagine there's varying degrees of knowledge across those that are joining and those that will watch this back afterwards on Prospect CRM. So the aim here is to have a session focused in on the CRM arm of Access ERP. You will all be very familiar, hopefully, if I've done my job right, on Unleashed. And now the aim is for you guys to become advisory experts on Prospect CRM. So very delighted to be joined by Andy, as I like to call him, from Prospect, who's going to basically take the floor away from me. So very little talking from me this afternoon, and run you guys through why, how, what, and then I'll just pick up at the end on how you guys can get going as referral partners of Prospect as well as Unleashed. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to pass over to Andy in about 5 seconds. He'll run you through Prospect, and then I'll pick up at the end to pick up on the next steps. If you've got any questions along the way, I will monitor the chat. If you want to interrupt, that's absolutely fine, but we will leave a short amount of time at the end for a Q&A if you want to leave it to the end. So that's it from me. I'll be lurking in the chat, but over to you, Andy, to take it away.
Thanks. Just a little bit of background before we get into the product. Obviously, we're now part of the Access Group. The company Prospect Soft was acquired in July 2022 and into the ERP division, so alongside Unleashed. We've got thousands of users all over the world. Historically, we started in the UK, but we've got a wide number of customers across the UK, US, APAC, pretty much all over the world, but inevitably in the regions where Unleashed are also strong. And Prospect CRM isn't just for Unleashed users, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit, but it is the official CRM for Unleashed, and you'll see as I give a quick demo at some point just how tightly integrated to Unleashed and other systems it is. So with that in mind, just sort of where does it fit with Unleashed when you're sort of talking to customers about a tech stack, first of all? So I think we think about it like this. Everybody needs a finance system, whether that be Xero, QuickBooks, Financials, or whatever it is that you're going to use for your finances, and that helps you to look after the money. But a lot of the sort of modern accounting systems, QuickBooks and Xero, really aren't ERP solutions. They just manage the finances, and while they do maybe a little bit of product information, they're not really very strong on products or warehousing or anything like that. So a lot of people that might have Xero or QuickBooks to do their accounts would then have an operational system to run the operations of their business. And if you're in wholesale and distribution, that would then be something like Unleashed, or perhaps some of the Unleashed competitors like Sin7 or Katana. And then that runs your operations, processes your orders, manages your stock, and lets you run a good business. But there's very little in there that's really about driving growth in the business, going out and getting orders before you deliver it. They kind of start their process at the point of, we've got an order, how do we execute on that and deliver the goods? Whereas Prospect then kind of adds in at the front end and is all about basically going out there and getting those orders, driving those orders in, and growing and increasing the sales into the business. just to avoid any confusion, I should also point out that if you don't have something like Unleashed or Sin7, then Prospect can also just connect directly to the financial system, whether that be QuickBooks Zero, Sage, Pegasus, or some of those older systems as well. And you get very similar functionality there if you're just using Zero to manage a basic product file or list of services and invoice and etc., just directly through Zero or QuickBooks or whatever it is that you're using. People don't buy software just for the sake of buying software. They typically buy software in order to solve a problem and achieve a specific outcome. So in terms of the outcomes that people are looking for when they're buying a CRM and the outcomes that Prospect can offer, really it's kind of best described by talking about what we call the growth formula. So the growth formula is pretty straightforward, and it says that to be successful in growing your sales, you have to really do two things. One is you have to go out there and get some more customers. If you do that on its own, you'll get more sales growth. But you also need to go out there in order to maximize your growth, you have to go out there and get higher customer lifetime value as well. So get more customers and then really work hard at maximizing the customer lifetime value for each of those customers you bring in. And ultimately that is what will deliver sales growth. And I think it's important to understand this because this is really a key differentiator for us. Ultimately every CRM system will help you manage a sales funnel to get more customers, but only Prospect can really deliver on the promise of a higher customer lifetime value. And as you'll see, that's really because of the really tight integration we have with Unleashed, Sin7, Zero, QuickBooks, etc. If we break that down a little bit, we get into our growth model that kind of breaks down the key strategies you need to get right to deliver on that growth formula. So in order to acquire more customers, you really need to get three things right. One is you have to have the right process to attract quality leads in the first place. So, obviously that's all the stuff you do to market your business to prospects and get them to make an inquiry. So then you get a quality lead. You then go through a sales process where the sales team will be, telling that customer why they should buy these products from us rather than somebody else. And then there's the sort of the final bit of that, which is all the admin around kind of closing that opportunity to get your first order. So those are the kind of three things you need to do to get new customers in and get those customers placing their first order. But a lot of CRM systems really stop there. And while they will, ostensibly help you with managing customers in terms of notes and conversations, there's four really key things that you need to get right to maximize that customer lifetime value. The first one of which is to onboard the customer, which is to turn them from a transactional customer who places one order into a relational customer that's placing lots of orders on a regular basis. And then once you've kind of achieved that conversion, it's really about keeping going back and staying on top of maximizing the average order value, maximizing the order frequency, and maximizing the retention. And those are the things that then add up to a customer lifetime value. And what's interesting about those kind of last four things is that managing those last four things really requires you to have really tight integration, because all of the data behind order frequency, order value, retention, whether people are onboarded properly or not yet, is all in Unleashed, Sin7, Zero, and typically isn't in the CRM system or most CRM systems unless you kind of rekeying that data, which nobody wants to do. And then we actually break that down into a growth playbook, which I won't get into in detail, but the growth playbook is really a guide to all of the features in the CRM that help you with each of those 7 key strategies. So you can kind of, during the setup process and when we're training customers and helping them get up and running, we'll be going through and making sure that they implement the key features in this grid to get the key outcomes that are most important to them. So just before I get into the demo, I talked about that being one of our key differentiators, or being our key differentiator against the competition. And obviously, there's lots of competition out there. There are lots of products, and I'm sure you may get asked, how does Prospect compare with Salesforce, Pipedrive, HubSpot, etc. Well, they're all good products. They all have a good rating. This came from Capterra, which is a software review site, and you can see the Prospect's got 4.5 stars. So Salesforce, HubSpot, at the point this was taken, Pipedrive got slightly less, but still all good products, and all a similar kind of price. Probably the real differentiator is when you look at the types of customers who are using Prospect. The types of customers who are using Prospect are those that really want to drive that customer lifetime value. So those are B2B businesses who are trying to build long-term relationships with customers and generate repeat orders. So it isn't not just product businesses, but you can imagine that a lot of product businesses are in the business of doing repeat orders. If you're wholesaling and or manufacturing and selling to retailers, things like food and beverage, electrical products to distributors, or food, things like that you're typically taking a weekly or a monthly order, and so all the tools that we've got to help you maximize customer lifetime value really come into their own if you're in that process of getting repeat orders from your customers. So let's have a quick look at a demo. So I'm just going to switch over to the demo, so this is Prospect CRM. This is one of the dashboards, and I kind of really wanted to start here because it sort of immediately starts to show you some of the integration that we've got with Unleashed in this particular case, but exactly the same integration I'm going to show you with Unleashed works with Sin7, Katana, Sage, Pegasus, Xero, QuickBooks, so here, although this is a CRM dashboard, you can see things like turnover this month, turnover last month. Obviously, you can see in a demo system, sometimes the sales vary fairly wildly. You wouldn't necessarily see this in a live system, moving from 300k last month to 2.4 million this month. But if you did, that would be good. But this data is coming from Unleashed, automatically, so that in the CRM, as a sales manager, I can start to see, data that's really useful to me. But if I move on to this next RFM analysis, this is really the beginnings of analyzing all the data that comes from Unleashed and then really using it to help you grow your sales. So an RFM analysis is a recency, frequency, and monetary value analysis. And it tells you which of your customers are your champions, always buying from you on a regular basis, which ones are your loyal customers, which ones are the potential loyalists, which ones are the new customers that you've yet to onboard and turn into relational customers, which ones are promising, which ones are perhaps about to sleep, so not ordered for a little while, and those who are hibernating are the ones that used to buy from you and have started to slow down and order from you less frequently, and really you need to go and revitalize those, etc. And there's a whole science behind this, and our growth playbook helps to explain to customers how to use this analysis to drive sales. But if we just drill into this and pick one of these champions, you can see that there's all sorts of data in here about this customer. sort of common stuff that you would expect to see in kind of any CRM system. So, multiple contacts, sales opportunities, perhaps quotes, but also getting into sales orders. So you can enter sales orders in here and send them straight to Unleashed. And there's actually a page here which is the Unleashed data that we've got about this coffee shop, and even a link so I could just go into Unleashed and open that record immediately from here. But it's got the balance and the credit limit and the tax code, price list information, etc., all coming in from Unleashed. If I connect it to zero, I'd see my age receivables. I actually haven't connected this to zero, but it would show me that. Sales transactions, so all of the sales orders and invoices straight from Unleashed. And then the analysis of that gives me a sort of bit of a buying pattern, what they've been buying, and even tells me which products they're buying most frequently and which ones we're targeting them for and that kind of thing. If we go back to the dashboard, what I was showing you there was perhaps a customer that is regularly buying, but more importantly, perhaps, it is this tile here, which is giving us our missing orders alert. So this is analyzing all of the data in Unleashed and identifying customers that should have placed an order but haven't. So this customer, for instance, should have placed an order based on our analysis by the 15th of March, and a month later still haven't placed their order. So they're at the top of this list, and the CRM is actively telling us that we need to ring this customer and find out what's going on, because it looks like we're losing them, or they've missed placing one of their orders. And we can go into that customer, and it gives us a bit more details in terms of tells us that their typical order frequency is every 87 days, but their last order was back in December, hence why in March this came up as being a missing order. There's more analysis of customers, so we can see how many customers are growing in revenue, how many are declining, and here we can see there's more declining than growing, which is perhaps a bit problematic. We can see which of those customers are growing by how much, which ones are declining by how much, and we can drill into all of that data. And again, all of this is coming from Unleashed. This is not data that we're entering into the CRM system. This is all coming from the analysis of the Unleashed data that customers have already got through just doing their normal, daily order processing and invoicing. But the CRM system has analyzed that data and is then prompting the sales and account management teams to target the right customers at the right time with the right messages in order to maximize those sales. And really, there's a whole load of tools which I'm not going to get into all of them, but what I will show you, just because it looks pretty, is the Magic Matrix. And this is a great tool for maximizing customer lifetime value. So I showed you the missing orders alert, which kind of helps us to make sure that we're retaining customers to keep them for as long as we can. But when I talked about the growth formula and the growth model, we talked about maximizing average order value and order frequency. And this is what the Magic Matrix is really all about. So it's telling us that, for instance, Adilla Coffee Shop, the one we talked about earlier and looked at earlier, one of our champions, they buy these products. So they buy finished jam and they buy ingredients, but they don't buy any jam jars from us. They don't buy any jam making kits, which is why this is red, etc. So these are probably products that we should be trying to target Adilla Coffee Shop at. And they're red, which is telling us that not only are they not buying them, but we haven't even made them aware of these products. So if we had made them aware, then they would be in orange. And if we had an outstanding sales opportunity where we're actively working on that customer opportunity, you would see it in blue. And then once they're buying, you would see that in green. And this is not just a pretty picture. You can then go through a whole wizard which will help you pick target audiences and then build campaigns to target those customers to build awareness and tell these customers about these products, hopefully ultimately generating opportunities, which you can see here. So you can see there is an opportunity with Brown's Group for large equipment sales. So using the Magic Matrix will really help you to maximize the lifetime value by increasing the range of products you're selling, and therefore the average order value and the order frequency. And as I say, that's really just one tool in all of this. The final thing I'm going to show you actually is something that we haven't launched yet. So I know that everybody likes a little bit of sort of insider preview, but really sort of building on all of that work we've done on the growth formula, the growth model and the growth playbook. We've built what is being called the growth engine, which really pulls all of that together and gives sort of new insights to customers about their growth. So it kind of starts with, what is their revenue trend? Is it trending upwards or is it trending downwards? And unlike a sort of a set of accounting reports where you might compare year on year, 2023 versus 2024, this is doing that on a rolling basis. So it's doing a rolling trailing 12 months analysis is our preferred analysis because it irons out seasonal trends, but you can switch to monthly if you prefer. But this is showing me that I've got a bit of a downward trend, although we did have a bit of an uptick recently. I've got a downward trend in revenue, and then I could drill into that and see why that is. So for instance, I can see that my customer acquisition is actually trending downwards, and my customer lifetime value is also trending downwards. So that is pretty problematic. And then I can get into some real detail, like what does my average order value look like? And you can see that this is trending downwards, and so is the order frequency just a little bit. And obviously those two drive heavily on the customer lifetime value. And there's lots of other analysis in here, all helping you to identify which bits of the growth model you really need to focus on. And then once you've decided what you need to focus on, for instance, the average order value, there is a whole guide for each one of these, sort of explaining where it fits into the growth model, and then giving advice in lots of different ways that you can, drive up your average order value. So we talked about the Magic Matrix, and you can see that is being recommended here as one of the ways to increase your average order value. Okay, so let's just switch back to the presentation. So just on the growth engine and where that fits into all of this, that is being trialed by some customers at the moment, and we hope to launch it to the rest of our customers sometime in June. But it sort of really brings together lots of things that over the years we've pulled together to help customers achieve the growth, the growth outcome that Prospect CRM promises. So it really pulls together the strategy, the growth formula, the growth model, and the growth playbook that I talked about earlier, with some new insights. So growth metrics that I showed you. We're actually introducing benchmarks this month for those customers who are trialing the growth engine, and really that tells them not just how they're doing and how their trend is going, but actually how they're doing against other similar businesses in similar industries of similar size, so they can get an idea of not just how they're doing, but what good looks like, and compare themselves with others. And that's a pretty engaging way to look at your metrics. And all of that is available on the dashboard that I just showed you. And then that's tied together with a whole load of best practice, education, and guides to CRM features that will help you to sort of go round this cycle, improving your growth through the use of the CRM and all of that best practice. And we've got some real success stories to back up our claim to help customers grow. There's a few quotes here, but sort of my favourite of these is Pure Medic Health, where Helen says our revenues have grown over 100% in the last 12 months, and Unleashed inventory management and CRM are at the centre of that growth. So that's a customer using both Unleashed and Prospect to great advantage. And you can find many more reviews and testimonials at prospectsoft.com/reviews. So, with that, Will, I'm going to hand back to you to look at outcomes for partners and next steps.
Great. Thank you, Andy, very much. Yeah, so hopefully everyone on the call has had a really good insight into the power of Prospect. It's not just a tool to capture customer details for your clients. There's a whole load more into that. So success outcomes are not just for your clients, they're also for you. So with the addition, Andy, would you mind putting yourself on mute? Just yeah, cheers, mate. With the addition of Prospect, in addition to obviously you guys talking about Unleashed to your clients, it gives you that different level of advisory service that you can provide to those clients. You're talking to businesses out there that are at the forefront of change. They're thinking about change in their business because they're going through the change of the whole operation side of their business with Unleashed. So by adding CRM into the mix, it's not let's talk about Unleashed and Prospect and CRM. It's let's talk about inventory management, supply chain, and CRM because they're one of the same conversation. So it's just putting you a little bit ahead of your competitors in your specific markets, partnering with us as an ERP tool rather than partnering with one specific solution within the Access group. So that's for you guys in the middle. Then obviously hopefully by now you'll be able to see the benefits for your clients. And there's a huge amount of value that can be pulled out of Prospect, and especially when you link it in with Unleashed. They go hand in hand so well, and they have done for many years. This is by no means a new integration, a new partnership between Unleashed and Prospect. It's tried and tested, as you guys will be able to see from the reviews as well. And then from my point of view, from Annie's point of view, from the team's point of view, we'd love for you guys to be spreading the word about Prospect to your clients, to your peers among the industry. There's free trials to be had. There's offers that we'll get into in a minute, but we would love for you to be continuing your conversations with your clients or about Unleashed plus Prospect, not just Unleashed. So for you guys to see yourselves as Prospect partners as well. Next slide, please. Next steps. So the next steps, if you guys are interested in continuing this conversation, is to register your interest, either by going to this link that you can see, prospectsoft.com/partner, or having a chat with me. I'm very happy to chat separately offline with whoever wants to learn a little bit more about partner programming, getting involved with Prospect. Once you register your interest, you'll have access to partner resources that I'll be able to send over to you guys as well as a follow-up. So once you've done that, the second step is to start recommending and referring. So speaking to clients, hopefully kind of the top high level functionality that Andy's just walked us through gives you enough of an insight to start those conversations with your clients, to get them interested, to get them excited. A great starting point is to talk to your existing Unleashed clients because it goes so hand in hand together. But by all means, that's not the only avenue here that you need to go down. So if you want to have a further chat with me about the ideal customer profile for Prospect or anything related to any conversations you're having with clients, please reach out. And then the third and final step is to repeat it. So like it says here, it's absolutely perfect for any business that sells B2B. Doesn't just need to be Unleashed. Once I have personally approved you to join the Prospect partner program, then you'll get access to the playbook. So you'll be able to refer clients in pretty much exactly the same way that you do currently with Unleashed. So it's not an entirely separate process that you need to remember. It's all very similar. And then, yeah, so as a special offer, as a sort of follow-up from this webinar today, for any clients that come via the partner program, so obviously by you guys signing up as Prospect partners today, we're offering 3 months half price for any client that signs up between now and the 30th of June. So no time to waste. There's a huge amount of benefit that can be passed on to your clients by getting involved, by increasing your knowledge on Prospect, so that you can have valuable conversations, and then passing that information over and then referring the lead to the lovely sales team at Prospect. And I believe that is that. If you've got any questions, let me just check. There was one question, Andy, about differences, or kind of the value of Prospect over and above Monday, Salesforce, HubSpot, those kind of other tools out there. But I think you covered it at a pretty high level. And then I mentioned that we can send some more content over. Is there anything, did you want to run through that again, or anything else that you missed?
No, I mean, I think, that the honest truth is that, in a lot of ways, lots of the CRM systems out there are much of a muchness. They'll all help you manage a sales funnel and record notes on customers and follow up things. It really is the integration with Unleashed or with Zero where we come into our own, and ultimately, if you think a customer, is the right fit, we should just get them to take a free trial, and they will see the value, because the free trial will give them access to all of the analysis that I talked about on their data, and even if they don't buy it, they'll get 14 days of free analysis, telling them who their champions are and who's not placed an order, and where their growth opportunities are. And I think, we have a really high close rate when people take a free trial, because they see that analysis and they see exactly how the CRM is going to help them, target the right customers at the right time with the right message, and grow their sales and grow their lifetime value in a way that all the other CRM systems just can't, because they don't have the data necessary to do it. And instead of comparing CRMs based on which one looks pretty or which one looks easier to use, that they'll be comparing Prospect with those others against which one is going to generate them the most sales, and help them grow their business and make them some real money.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely, and it's worth mentioning that clients get a 14-day free trial on Prospect, exactly the same as they do on Unleashed. And if you guys as partners want access to a longer demo sort of environment than 14-day, obviously anyone can take out a 14-day demo, so you could do it today if you want to have a look at it right now. But then once you sign up to the partner program, then we can have the conversation about extending it into a longer partner demo environment, so that you guys can get more time and more hands on the tool. So that is a conversation to be had. If there are no further questions, then I think we can leave it there. I will follow up to everyone on the call today with a follow-up email, funnily enough, with all the information that you've had on the slides and how you can register as a partner. If you've got any questions after this call that prop up, then obviously you know where to find me. And then if you want to speak to Andy, then I'm sure Andy's happy to have a conversation as well if anyone wants to follow up. So thank you very much for joining. We will speak to you very soon. Have a lovely rest of your afternoon. Thanks, everyone.